Do I really gotta be the asshole that says we got in this thing and went back in time?
Alrighty, who remembers Hot Tub Time Machine? Is this not the best movie of all time? No? Best movie of 2010? Possibly? Best comedy of 2010? Will you give me that? I don't know, but hey, I actually do think it has a case for the best satire of maybe even the entire 2010s decade. A controversial opinion, I'm sure, but I think that I can make sense of it. Because I think this movie does have a lot more substance than people initially think, and despite it being a lighthearted comedy on the surface, in a certain lens, it might be one of the scariest movies that I've ever seen.
Absolutely right.
You think so?
No,
really?
fuck no!
And just for example, do you ever think that a movie works better when you kind of think about it differently? Like, if you watch Twilight and think of it like an exaggerated or even like a satirical look at teen romance, I think it does become kind of like darkly funny. Or the movie Grease. Grease was originally meant to mock the sanitized view of the 1950s, and it's a better movie when you know that. But, of course, we're not talking about those movies, we're talking about
Hot Tub Time Machine.
So there are some obvious satirical aspects to Hot Tub Time Machine that you'll definitely catch on a first viewing. I mean, it certainly isn't ode to 80s movies and time travel movies, and it very much succeeds in mocking them in a loving and absurd way.
Ah! Like the Terminator! It's cyclical, right?
But I think it might even intend to go a lot deeper than that, because it certainly jabs at the idea of a midlife crisis, but also it introduces questions about what it is to experience a life well lived, and in fact kind of just gives us the meaning of life in general. I'm joking, but it does answer some good questions that I think we can all learn from, and it does it all in a truly hilarious way, so let's dig in. We start the movie with our main fellas. You've got Nick, who is a former musician that wanted to make it and didn't.
Sup, dog?
Also, this is a fake job, right? Like, if you're not a veterinarian or like a vet technician, you don't do this, right?
I might just look.
I don't know. And then there is Adam, girlfriend recently dumped him, probably depressed. Lou, he drinks a lot, definitely depressed. And randomly, Jacob, who is Adam's nephew, also maybe depressed.
Apply for a job, maybe try to go to college.
I don't know, that all sounds kind of overrated.
So we're already in a pretty dark place, actually. Like, we very quickly learn that Adam, Nick, and Lou are estranged best friends and all sort of lonely. You know, everyone has lives that aren't really what they expected, and they drifted apart over the years, somewhat voluntarily, and partially for this reason, Lou kind of tries to kill himself.
He's got one of his balls, it's like shriveled up, like a spoiled grape.
And the fellas are then brought back together because they are Lou's emergency contact, and they decide to go back to their old stomping grounds.
Codiac
Valley?
This was back when life was better, they were younger, they had hair, etc., and why not bring Adam's nephew? You know, he can join in on the fun.
This is the coolest town ever? Oh fuck, that used to be Papa Enzo's.
So the town that they used to love is crappy now. It's old, run down, depressing, kind of like them. Even the hotel staff features a moody and probably depressed Crispin Glover with one arm.
I am not going to tell you again!
Of course, when they go back in time, he has two arms, and then there's actually a pretty funny running gag that he's gonna lose the arm at some point.
Where's your missing arm, motherfucker?
Anyways, the main gang has long realized that their coming of age has come and gone, and this is just another way that the magic of the world has been sucked out. So, yeah, pretty depressing. We're in dark comedy territory, for sure.
We were young, we had momentum, we were winning.
Everyone is in a bad place, and so they all jump into a hot tub, get a little fucked up, and recapture some of that lost magic of youth. But little do they know, they're gonna get more than they bargained for, because, hey, you're never gonna guess what happens next.
You built a time machine? Out of a hot tub.
We have all four of the gang back in time to 1986, And we don't have to worry about them running into themselves because they are themselves.
Yeah, we're not gonna run into ourselves.
Jacob is glitching and whatnot and is consistently worried about himself not being born. Pretty standard time travel stuff. But I do want to ask a question here, because I think about this every time I watch this. Do you think that the three older guys, for the past versions of them, like the 1986 versions, do you think that they just sort of blipped out of existence while the older versions of them essentially replaced their minds for a weekend? Like, did they have their brains taken over temporarily, and then after the 3 days that the friends are there, do they just wake up not knowing what happened? Or maybe they're just entirely paralyzed behind the eyeballs in a sort of liminal state where they aren't alive or dead, just kind of watching? Like, I don't know. I always think about that. Anyways, so a bunch of stuff happens. They're in 1986. Lou gets into a fight with Sebastian Stan, and Adam and his then girlfriend break up.
You breaking up with me? That's what this is, a breakup note?
He meets a new and better girl that he apparently missed out on back in 1986.
You gotta embrace the chaos. You have to. That way life might just astonish you.
Nick plays the same gig that he choked on in 1986, but this time he plays it really well. He's finally able to take another stab at music and be better. And he also preemptively steals from the Black Eyed Peas and introduces the world to some crazy new music. While this is happening, the rest of the gang forgets to show up for Lou for his second fight with Sebastian Stan, even though they agreed to show up, and Lou gets his ass beat again.
Where are my fucking friends?
Crispin Glover loses his arm 3 times, I mentioned that. And on the 3rd time, the gang almost dies.
This is how it happens? This is how he loses it? Fuck it! Fuck it, we're dead men!
But Crispin Glover saves them. They have a showdown with Sebastian Stan again because he's a paranoid kind of wannabe patriot type who's watched Red Dawn too many times.
Watching Red Dawn again, or?
Crispin Glover then actually loses his arm. Sebastian Stan and his buddies save his arm, yay, and that's mostly it. Oh, and Chevy Chase is there too as their ambiguous spirit guide / hot tub fixer. And so is Billy Zabka. And thanks in part to a squirrel messing up a football game, the Cleveland Browns go to the Super Bowl, which is super dark and twisted on its own.
No, I know the squirrel. That's a magic fucking squirrel. This doesn't count.
He's distracted by a wild squirrel! What the fuck?
And then that also inadvertently causes this to happen.
Who are you people? God, who are you people?
We also learn that Lou is actually Jacob's father, and Lou has sex with Adam's sister, who is Jacob's mom.
Hey, there's my boy.
Okay, so we're officially recapped. The gang gets back into the hot tub to go back in time. Actually, I guess that would be forward in time. Okay, sorry. The gang goes back to 2010 because the hot tub is now fixed, except Lou stays back in 1986. And so Adam, Nick, and Jacob go back to 2010 in what is now a drastically shifted reality.
So Phil, if you want to find like a, like porno or a restaurant review or anything like that, you use Google?
Correct.
And they don't have any of their memories, at least they only have the memories of their pre-time travel shitty lives that are apparently not shitty anymore. And this is where it kind of gets a little scary to me. Adam has a wife that he has virtually no memories of, except for when they met for the first time earlier in the movie. Nick has a successful music career and a better relationship, but no memories of the actual experiences, and literally no idea what memories of his relationship are accurate.
You think I'm fooling around? First of all, I would never screw around. You remember I told you about that crazy wrong number I got when I was 9?
In fact, he only has memories of his past relationship where his wife cheated.
Admit it, bitch!
And logically, their relationship was worse before. Plus, he has an entirely different career and different financial situation, so I'm sure that almost everything they've ever experienced together would be different. And Jacob, well, his life is horrible. I mean, he would have virtually no idea what his life was, because he traveled back to about 9 months before he was born.
Nobody fucks my mother in the past.
And had no idea who his dad was when he did that.
I feel pregnant.
You're welcome.
Then, he changed the past to where he now knew who his dad was his whole life, but his dad is Lou, the guy who also drastically changed the past and made himself absurdly rich and decided to actually raise Jacob. So everything from his birth is different. His upbringing, his memories, and his experiences. He would literally be in this sort of hell where he couldn't trust a single memory as true or false.
I love that woman, man.
Those are my parents.
And I mean, everyone in the new timeline has this problem to an extent. I mean, they have no real memories of 24 years of their lives.
A lot has changed, so whatever happens, stay the fuck calm.
Their wives are now married to someone that they've never really known, and the Jacob that Lou raised, the one that didn't travel back in time, that person and child of his and Kelly's is now replaced by the old timeline Jacob, who is an entirely different person with an entirely different life.
Daddy's little buddy.
The Jacob that they know and loved as their child is now erased.
Erased from existence.
And if you really think about it, this is just Jacob's fear to begin with, right? To kind of have existed, but then to be erased. Like,
I was more concerned about bigger consequences, like me not being born.
And honestly, there's a lot more that I could say here, but I do want to move on to the point of the video. But I do think about, how much did Lou tell the original timeline fellas, and did they know that they were just living to be erased? And, I also wonder about how Lou took over Motley Crue when Home Sweet Home came out in 1985, and how did Sebastian Stan know about 21 Jump Street when that came out in 1987?
There could be some kind of 21 Jump Street spy battalion type dudes.
There's possibly a few, maybe intentional holes in the timeline there, but I do want to talk about why this movie is the ultimate satire and how the satire makes it a brilliant movie that is much more complex than what people initially think. When they go back in time and are all more successful financially and to an extent in notoriety, the song that plays, it's Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads. A song that is really about questioning if you've lived your life on autopilot and if you've not really had meaningful experiences because of that. And if doing that has just led you somewhere where you don't really know yourself and you haven't lived a meaningful life. Like, the song and the part that they play in the movie is the part where it refers to consumerism and social expectations that dictate who we marry and what we buy without really thinking about what is actually best for us, and then realizing, oh shit, what have I done to get here?
This better be the last time my ass travels through time.
Like in a movie that is comedic in tone, rather than considering it for the actual dark reality that these characters are living in, we probably don't instinctively read into the song, but could their outcomes actually be a cautionary tale for the audience? Like, an extremely satirical point of view, because what is happiness, success, finding love, etc. if you don't choose it and don't enjoy the little things? They've quite literally lived 24 years on autopilot, and in that realm, their world is exceptionally depressing, because what does it mean to have it all from a consumerist point of view, but not experience anything deeper than that? And that's literally their outcome. And when that song plays, I can't help but think about that, It's like to never have stopped and looked around every once in a while. It's dark. And you know what? Crispin Glover was very critical of Back to the Future's ending.
What's the matter with you guys?
He criticized it as too capitalist or too materialistic.
I said to Robert Zemeckis, I thought it was not a good idea for our characters to have a monetary reward, because it basically makes the moral of the film be that money equals happiness.
And if you haven't seen that movie, well, you should. It's great, but basically they're all more successful financially at the end, and mom drinks less, looks healthier, dad is successful in his endeavors, more confident, and this all makes their marriage better and makes them happier, just like in Hot Tub Time Machine, honestly. But Crispin Glover also thought it was a little tragic and sent the message that monetary gain is important above all.
Here's a question. Was it morally wrong for me to exploit my knowledge of the future for personal financial gain?
But the difference really between this ending and Back to the Futures is that Hot Tub Time Machine plays it far more absurdly.
Perhaps. Here's another question. Do I give a fuck?
And you kind of got to wonder, did Crispin Glover read this script and think, you know, this script gets the message better than Back to the Future, where we know that Lou is a completely misogynistic, selfish, opportunistic asshole who is obsessed with more trivial pleasures, and he completely lucked into power, essentially. And as far as satire goes, that's funny, but also, I think, pointed. Like, we can see Lou and kind of think to ourselves, this guy is an asshole, and so what would I do in his shoes? And then you can kind of look at his friends and say, how would I want to live my life? Do I want to focus on the omnipresent American dream? And if I do get there, what sacrifices do I make? Like, in the real world, there's no time machine, right? So we look at this outcome that Adam and Nick have and see not only the impossibility of getting this American dream, because in their case, they literally had to game the system with time travel.
Get in here, it's gonna fucking change you.
But also that even if you try to go for it, you're probably sacrificing something meaningful along the way.
Where were you?
We came.
No, not tonight. Every fucking night.
And so instead, can you find happiness now by focusing on making memories, having experiences, and building your relationships?
Stick by your friends! You're thick and thin!
So you might be inclined to think that their outcomes are better at the end of the movie than the beginning of the movie, and I agree, but I think we're meant to contrast the characters' positions at the start of the movie and see a kind of middle ground where embracing the chaos of life and being there for your friends or addressing and expressing your problems
Talk to me, man.
Found out she fucking cheated.
can make a difference. Because we're not supposed to think that the original timeline or the final timeline is what we should strive for. Like, in the real world, wishing that you could go back and redo your youth, well, you can't. And so instead, this movie is kind of just unpacking their character flaws and then subverting you at the end for comedy, and also to say, hey, like, look how absurd it is to be stuck mentally in the past and wishing for a do-over. It's not feasible. It's not going to happen without time travel.
With the policy, the butterfly effect. The butterfly will fucking suck my nuts!
And stay with me here, they're pretty much just as dumb and self-involved in 2010 as they were in 1986, aren't they?
You're supposed to break up with her.
No, just check it out, okay? Maybe she's the key to something.
Like, I think the idea is you think you can do your life over and you're smarter now, and that might solve your midlife crisis, but really the only actual advantage these characters have is knowledge to exploit for selfish gain.
How are you getting so lucky?
I know the fucking future, douchebag.
Because in reality, they haven't changed much since they were 19, which is shitty, but partially their choice. Like, they're still fucking up, at least to begin with. They're being self-centered to the point where they don't even care about Jacob being born.
If you're changing the fucking past, okay? Then I'm changing the fucking past. Alright? No, Lou.
And they're just going after girls and partying rather than giving a shit about people or even being constructive.
We veer off the path with all the cocaine use. We do. With all the cocaine we do. And all the chicks we bone.
No, guys, come on, man, talk to me about this. Fuck off. Fuck!
But at some point, they learned things that could have solved their midlife crisis a long time ago. And I think we're meant to see that, because the things that they learn, it's never really anything that time travel was necessary for.
I vowed to master the chaos.
Adam, I really don't think you can let a poison pizza ruin the rest of your life. You gotta embrace the chaos.
Like, look at Adam. He learns to embrace the chaos, stop trying to be so controlling, and to just let life move on, so to speak.
My friends need me and I gotta show up for them, so.
He addresses the trauma that he may have killed his father and finally kind of lets go of that. And he realizes that to live life, he needs to embrace new experiences in life rather than being stuck with what happened in the past.
I'm not really making any plans. I'm just sort of letting the universe surprise me, right?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Which is what meeting Lizzie Kaplan's character represents for him. To let go of the past, represented by his original girlfriend, Lindsay Fonseca, and he embraces the future, Lizzie Kaplan. He realizes that his old relationship from his youth isn't what he remembers.
What made you break up with her again?
I don't know. We swapped virginities junior year, and all we did was listen to records and have sex.
Jenny Sedmeyer is not your fucking destiny, okay? She's just some girl. Some girl you dated in high school, okay?
I'm sorry, Adam. All these years you stabbed me in the eye with a fucking fork, and you were gonna break up with me anyway?
And therefore, neither is the past, and that's not where he should fixate his attention. Nick gave up on music when he could have returned to it after that day where he choked on stage, and he learns that he literally can do that when he sings Jesse's Girl. He has clearly improved and has the talent, but instead he spent a majority of his life blaming his marriage and that original 1986 performance as the reason that he hasn't done music in a very long time.
I could have had a career, but I got married and I went a different way. I gave her my life, I gave up my passion.
But he didn't need to go back in time and get on stage again to do music and to do it well. He just needed to get on stage again.
You gotta get your ass up on that stage.
She's right.
Because he never lost anything except time, and he lost that time by blaming outside factors. He has been living his life not addressing anything and letting the days go by on autopilot. His issues with his last name,
Weber fucking Agnew?
his wife cheating,
I can't even bring myself to say anything because I just love her so fucking much.
his shitty job,
Like we practiced.
Right away, Terry.
or his music.
Oh my God, you still singing?
Nah, that was a long time ago.
And he kind of just lives blaming other circumstances that happened in the past rather than moving forward and trying again.
That's who I was.
Maybe you gotta find him again.
And Lou, I think most of all, he shows how pining for a nostalgic and reckless time that you had, like 24 years ago,
Oh, let's get some cocaine and break into a school or steal a cop car or some shit, huh?
is a little pathetic, and living that over again doesn't really do that much in practice. Like, the idea of the past is fun, but the reality isn't, where we watch an actual middle-aged man just partying and being debaucherous, and we see that that's nothing that anyone actually wants to be, and you're meant to grow out of that. You can see how in Adam, Nick, and Lou's situations, a midlife crisis is put in front of you and sort of mocked, but almost in a constructive way, where mentally living in the past is not constructive. We see that they didn't need a time machine to fix their problems, and this gives us insight into how to repair our own lives, and again, jabs at the idea of a midlife crisis. It shows how dreaming and pining for the past is maladaptive and also impossible because we can't actually go back or forward, but we can still do what they learned, which is making some changes, addressing your issues, and just moving on with your life. And this then makes the ending the ultimate satire for me, because they totally subvert us, and knowing how misguided these guys are with solving their problems, especially Lou, they end up doing what literally nobody can, which is accomplishing the elusive American dream.
Google, huh? Yeah. Google, just this multi-billion-dollar thing I did for a while.
And so again, you go back to what you can actually do versus what you might want to do, which is a middle ground between having the shitty life that they had at the beginning of the movie and having this fantasy life in a do-over. And that's just moving forward instead of blaming the past or the future for your problems, and avoiding spending your life on autopilot fixating on the American dream. Because in any case, you need a fucking time machine to go back or forward to pull off what they did. So the movie literally shows us the impossibility of going back to achieve these things that you think you could have done, and how misguided you might be if you actually end up there, and how absurd it is to wish that you could do all these things. And then it also shows us that the solution is actually fairly simple, and that's to live for today and focus on what you can control, rather than pining for the past or an impossible future. I kind of think this is what Hot Tub Time Machine 2 should have been about. They should have wanted to get back in time because they've realized that success at the expense of like memory and experiences is shitty. Like, you could have also had them be critical of Lou's success and sort of unpack how fucking scary it is that Lou essentially runs the world.
Most innovative, forward-thinking tech company in the world.
Which has a lot of meta commentary potential on how selfish, opportunistic misogynists actually do run the world. I don't know. Okay, 2 last things before I end the video here. I do just want to say real quick that I am so fucking thrilled that people are actually watching this channel and watching the videos and all that. So I don't know, I feel very lucky as like a new YouTuber. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being around here. And second, I do want to put this into words somewhere. I don't know if this will ever happen. I have a collective like 15,000 views across 2 videos, but I do want to put this like kind of in documentation somewhere, and that's that I will commit to getting a Hot Tub Time Machine tattoo if this video ever hits 100,000 views, whether that's, you know, in 30 years or in a year or whatever, or maybe never. So I don't know, we'll see. But yes, thank you again so much for watching. Hot Tub Time Machine is one of my favorite movies ever. And yeah, Great White Buffalo. Bye.
Great White Buffalo.
The Great what?